This is an active suction mount to mount photography equipment. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you about $27. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinion remains my own. So in the box, we get this guy here, and it has a suction cup. And when you push it down onto a surface, it starts to vacuum and suction into the surface. Now I have here a wooden table, which is not a super flat, non-porous surface. You can hear it there. It's suctioned down to it. It's attached pretty well. And if I pull up on it, it started sucking down again. So it looks like it detects the vacuum, and as air kind of flows through the wood or escapes in because I'm pulling on it, it starts to pump again and tries to keep the vacuum in place. So this guy is sticking down to my table pretty well. Every time I try to pull it off, it vacuums itself down a little more as I get some air in there. So it's working pretty well on a piece of wood. Now it's smooth wood, but normally you wouldn't think of a suction cup as really sticking well to a piece of wood. And this guy here is sticking pretty well to that wood. Now there is a button. You push the button and it basically releases, and I believe it's done working now. So that is the main functionality. Now it also has a magnetic side that can hook to these little rings, like if you had it on a cell phone. So you could theoretically mount a magnetically attached cell phone to the back of this guy, hook this onto a mirror or a window, and it would just be mounted there. Now they also include a 1/4x20 stud here, and there's a little rubber thing here that you can pull out if you have good fingernails. There's a tiny little slot there. I got it out. So if you're not magnetically attaching it to a phone, you can screw this guy in, or if your device has a screw already, you can just screw it directly on. Oop, I triggered it by hitting that button. So now you can attach any action cam mount or a camera on top of it that uses a 1/4x20 stud. And then you can push that down, mount it to something. So this is really great for hooking to metal, glass. I think it's going to work extremely well there. But as you can see, even on just this wooden tabletop, it does work well. It's relatively quiet. Obviously, if you're shooting a video and your camera's attached to this, there's going to be some noise in the background, but you'll notice it only runs when it needs to. So when it has a good vacuum, it turns off and it doesn't make any noise. It's only if the vacuum starts to get compromised, in this case I'm pulling on it, letting a little air in, that it runs again. So if you're on a glass or a metal surface, I could see this not vacuuming very frequently at all. Now they also include some cleaning wipes, so basically if you clean the glass surface, it's going to be able to stick to that surface a lot better. Now it includes a USB A to C charging adapter. There's a charging port right here. I don't know exactly how long it lasts before the battery stops working. I don't think that it takes too much power to run the little vacuum pump in there, especially if it's only running it as it needs it. So I expect it could, go for multiple hours before your charge would run out, especially if you're on glass or metal that's not causing it to run very frequently. Here's a test just on glass, which is kind of more what it's designed to work on. Okay, so it basically has stopped vacuuming, and let me tell you, the connection to glass is a lot better than the table. I had to pull on it a lot harder before it started the vacuum up again. And you can see here, I'm pulling on it, and when I pull on it, maybe a little air gets in, it detects the vacuum isn't as good as it was. It starts vacuuming again, and now it's fixed on there really well. So I suspect it's going to take a long time before this vacuum pump runs again unless I were to pull on it. And you can see sometimes I'm pulling on it and it's not triggering it. It's only if I kind of tilt it enough to let air in. And even then it's not popping off. So if you want to pop it off, you have to push this button, and that pops it off pretty well. Wondering how strong the magnet on the phone connection side is. You know, that's a pretty good magnet there. It's designed to suction onto things, and then you stick your phone onto it. But this happens to be a metal, washing machine here. There we go. And so, you can see it has a strong magnet on there to hook up to the phone. All right, so I have a force gauge here, and I'm going to try pulling this guy off of that metal surface. All right, so it took 26 pounds, 7 ounces, to pull that guy off. We'll do this again. I'll zero it out. This is right after it stopped vacuuming. And there was 24 pounds, 12 ounces. So, it's a good 20 pounds of force this way, straight out, to pull the suction cup off. So, it's definitely going to hold your smaller cameras without any real problems. All right, this is a USB-C power delivery cable. Plug it in there. The light turns red when it's charging. The manual says it'll turn off when it's done charging. It successfully negotiated USB-C power delivery. It's doing 5 volts. It's a very minimal draw here. It's 0.13 amps, so it's charging at less than a watt. So it doesn't require much power to charge it. It's probably a pretty small battery, but it does successfully negotiate USB-C power delivery. So you can use that included USB-A to C cable to charge it. It works just fine. It's basically charging at the same, 0.7 watts. Or you can just use any cell phone charger to charge it up. So I'm going to charge this guy up. When it's fully charged, we'll go stick it to a window and I'll see if it lasts for a day. In less than an hour, this guy fully charged. The red light turned off. It's not drawing any current. It took like 53 milliamp hours to do that, so it didn't draw too much to get up to a fully charged state. The manual says when you're not using this, you should leave this little dust cover on just to keep dust from getting onto the suction cup there. So this is my garage window. It's a plastic window. It does have a piece of film over it. I haven't cleaned it, so it's not an optimal surface, but I'm just going to stick this thing on there. And it has vacuumed itself to it, and I'm just going to leave it up here. I'll come and check on it tomorrow and see if it has enough battery power to keep it stuck on there for a day. So this guy's been up here for a full 24 hours, still stuck to the window. I don't know if it would stick to the window without the battery-powered vacuum pump thing. I haven't actually heard it turn on, so I don't know if it's losing air or needing to turn on or off. I'm going to try pulling a little bit. Nope. Well, I pulled it just a little bit and it immediately turned on. Now it's really stuck because when I first pulled on it, it started to move a little bit. So I suspect it has been turning on every so often and just sticking itself back into the wall. So it successfully stayed to the wall for 24 hours. I'm going to charge it back up, and we're going to see how many milliamp hours it takes to charge it back up, and that'll hopefully give me an idea of what the consumption of power is for a 24-hour period. I have reset all of my amp hour counters. It is charging up. The light is red. All right, the red light has gone off. It's not drawing any current, and it took 3 milliamps there to go for a 24-hour period. I charged it up to, it took like 53 milliamps just to charge up out of the box. So I think this guy can last for quite a while.